Backyard Nicole here today. Welcome to the Waffle Flower channel. This is It's in the Details, and today I'm going to share an encouragement card showcasing the first step stamp set. I love this stamp set. It's got these adorable little shoes, like little ballet flats, and then all kinds of ways that you can adorn the toes of the shoes. You could use any kinds of greetings, but I've got a couple of friends who could use some sort of encouragement right now. And so I created an encouragement type card and used some nice bright primary colors, almost rainbow. I didn't get green in there, for these little sets of shoes. I'm going to start by placing the shoe image on a 5.5 by 4 1/4 inch piece of white cardstock. I'm going to ink up the shoes with a nice black ink that'll be good for Copic coloring. I like to use my Misty so I can stamp the image one on top of another in case there's any little faint areas or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamp then and pick it up and move it around. And I'm using my Misty to do this just to kind of help get my placement. Of course, if I need to stamp it more than one time, that helps. But I did end up using my Misty. You totally would not have to do it this way if you didn't want to. This just kind of helped me as I was trying to design this and figure out exactly where I wanted to put my little shoes all the way around this card. I did end up needing to kind of move around my background. I'm also trying to figure out the perfect place to put my greeting. And this is where I ended up putting it. I kind of liked it right here. And my greeting is going to read, "She believed she could, so she did." There are several ways that you can mix and match the greetings from the first step stamp set so you can create your own custom greeting. This is just kind of worked perfectly for me, so this is the one I chose, but you could totally use anything. This could be a great birthday card, a friendship card, all kinds of different things. So I'm moving this around. I'm also going to stamp my greeting at the same time here. I'm a big fan of trying to stamp as much as possible. Especially with the Misty, that makes it so easy. So I'll ink everything up here. I did have to stamp the greeting more than once because it didn't stamp real clear the first time. I had not used these particular images before, and a lot of times if you haven't used them before, they need to be inked up and stamped more than once. And then I'm going to finish over here in the last corner. Once I have everything stamped, I am going to go ahead and stamp the embellishments for the toes of my shoes. And I kind of figured out these were the 4 different embellishments I was going to use. There are several. I think they're just so super cute and fun. You can mix and match. Lots of different ways to use these. And I'm going to ink them up and stamp them twice on another sheet of smooth white cardstock. This way I have the 2 that I need for each set of shoes. And the only set of shoes that ended up not needing 2 embellishments was the ones in the bottom right corner of my card, but that's the smallest one, so no big deal. I just went ahead and stamped them all since I already had them out. I did stamp them one on top of another again just to make sure that they were nice, crisp, I didn't miss anything. And then I'm ready to start coloring. And I use Copic markers. This card is a ton of coloring, but it's really worth it. And the images are so big that it's really pretty fast coloring, believe it or not. Sometimes when you're coloring those teeny tiny intricate images, they can really be time consuming. I find with these big images, you can lay down the color super fast. And once you add the skin tone to the feet image, I think it really makes the whole shoe come to life. So I started with red, and then I'm going to work my way into orange. And like I mentioned earlier, my intent was to do kind of rainbow color with the shoes and the embellishments and kind of make my way all through the rainbow. And I didn't like the green for the tassels on the yellow shoes, so I kind of scrapped that idea. And I didn't really like green with the blue shoes or a blue accent with the with a green shoe. So I just skipped green altogether, which is totally fine. I really like the blue shoes best with the purple flower. I thought that was prettier. So you don't have to always stick with your original idea if it isn't working out. I only used 2 shades per color to make the coloring even faster. Once that's all blended in, I kind of got out of the line, so I'm going to take my colorless blender and push that color back inside the shoe. I'm going to finish coloring in the skin tone for all of the feet. I did try to mix that up as well. All of the colors are shown across the bottom of the screen, and I did use a different combination for each set of feet. Finish my last one really quick, and then I'm going to move on and color in my embellishments for the shoes. So for the red shoes, I wanted to do red on red, so I'm going to color some red bows. The only difference is I did pull in a really dark color for shading. I didn't use that for the shoe itself, but for the bow, I really felt it needed it. So I pulled in a little R39. The R24 and R46 are the exact same colors I used for the shoe, and I'm going to color both bows the same. I'll only show coloring one of the embellishments because both of them are going to be the same for each set of shoes. For the yellow tassel, I pulled in a lighter yellow color for the bottoms of those tassels and for the little string holding it to the bar as well. Just again, a little bit more interest. This is where a lot of the detail comes in. So while the ballet flats maybe didn't have that, I wanted to pull it in the embellishment. For the purple flowers, I ended up only using 2 shades. I felt like that's really all it needed, and I am going to embellish this with the Stardust glitter pin before I attach it to the shoe. I did try to go in with another little color, but it didn't really work, so I colored over that and blended it back out. And then just a very light orange for the little diamond. In fact, I colored it all orange, and I took the colorless blender to remove that color from the center of that little jewel. I'm going to take the coordinating dies and die cut all of the embellishments for my shoes. And basically I'm just going to set these aside for just a minute while I work on the background of my card, because before I add these, I want to mask off all of the shoes and add some distressing to the background. These masks, I stamped them 4 times, were super fast to create because, again, this is an easy shape. This wasn't difficult cutting at all. I don't mind masking so much if it's a really easy mask, and these were easy. I'm going to take some black soot distress paint, water it down, take a small paintbrush, and then flick it all over the background. The mask is going to protect my coloring. I didn't want any of this distressing on the actual shoes or feet themselves. And once I have that nice and distressed, I'm going to let that sit and dry for a few seconds. And while it's drying, I'm going to add some additional embellishment to the little, embellishments for the shoes, the little cute little accents. So for the gemstone, I'm going to cover that with glossy accents because I want it to really look like a gem. For the flowers, I'm going to take the Stardust glitter pen and I'm going to trace the lines of the stamped image. I don't want to color in the whole thing. I'm just adding glitter to the edges. It's going to be fairly subtle, but in real life it adds a nice little teeny tiny bit of shimmer to those flowers. So I'll do that for both of my flowers for the blue shoes. Just kind of going around all of those little edges with that Stardust glitter pen. You could go over the entire thing with the Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen if you wanted to. I'll do the same thing for the second flower. I'm going to add some embellishment to the red bows and then the tassels as well. I kind of waited a little bit. I was still contemplating exactly what I wanted to do to those at this point. It was a very much trial and error. I could see creating so many different pairs of shoes. This is a super fun stamp set. I think it's super cute. I'm going to go ahead and remove my masks now. I think this is the magic part. I love removing the masks and seeing what the background looks like. You could even have taken Distress ink and the ink applicator tool and colored the background if you wanted to, and then added some paint. Lots of different ways to add some color to that background. Now, originally I was just going to attach the little embellishments to the shoes, and I decided I thought they needed some foam adhesive to make them pop up just a little bit. So I'm using some little foam adhesive squares and attaching these to the toes of my shoe. Some of them are going to hang off the edge. All I have to do is simply take my scissors and snip any of that excess off. Same thing for the tassels. Part of the one here on the left is going to be hanging off, but that's okay. I can trim it. Here's a good look at those. I like to make sure I use plenty of that foam adhesive so it's nice and secure. It doesn't get mangled when it goes through the mail. Attach that to the toe of the little yellow flat. For my red shoes, I wanted those to be kind of look like patent leather. So I'm going to go over the entire shoe with glossy accents and the bows as well. This is going to have to dry for a little bit. In fact, I think I let it dry for about an hour. I went and made lunch for my kids and did a couple other little things and came back after all the glossy accents dried. So you just have to be a little patient. I also added it to that little bar on the yellow shoes and the top there of the little tassel. I love my glossy accents. Great way to add just nice, easy little embellishment. Nice kind of thin layer, but it adds that great glossy finish. I did try to puncture some of the bubbles with a straight pin, but I was not having a lot of luck for whatever reason on the day I did this. And like I said, I'm going to set all of this aside to dry really well. Once it's dry, again, I'm going to take some foam adhesive squares and I'm going to attach the bows. I kind of attach these off to the side. You could totally do it straight on if you wanted to. I love that it's just whatever you personally like. I thought that would just kind of be a fun little look off to the side. And finally finish with my little orange, pale orange gemstone there for my orange shoe. Trim off any of the excess, anything overhanging. So super cute. Now I could have been done at this point, but I did decide I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my card base. And then I'm going to take some Ranger Multi-Medium. Oh, first I did take the Stardust glitter pen and add even a little bit more glitter to that little gemstone. I felt like it needed a little bit more sparkle. And I put another layer of glossy accents over it and just let that dry. I'm going to take the Ranger Multi Matte Medium, put little dots all over, and then place some gold Pretty Pink Posh star confetti in those little dabs of glue, and that's just going to finish off the card, add to the whole feeling of the card, and really finish it off with a fun touch. I hope this has given you some ideas on how to embellish the shoes from the First Step stamp set. For more product information, please visit waffleflower.com. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more creative ideas. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.